Hey guys, what's going on? So, this time we're doing another game, of course, because that's just what my channel's been lately. So, next up we're going to do Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei. I know it's spelled Z-W-E-I, but it's Zwei. It's not Zwei, it's Zwei. Again, I have the Japanese version because it was a lot cheaper. This one was actually a gift because my birthday's coming up and my sister got it for me. So thank you. Shout out to Annalise if you're watching this video. But Panzer Dragoon 2 is a prequel to the original Panzer Dragoon. It's not a sequel, it's a prequel. And you're not controlling Kyle again. This time you're actually controlling someone named Lundy. And there's a bit more of a story here. So, Lundy had found this baby. This is like Kakula, I think is what they're called. And normally the town kills them, but he decided to keep it because it was glowing and had wings and stuff. So once he grew up, he had the projectiles that the dragons do. So he realized he found a dragon. After his town and basically all his friends are destroyed by this other dragon, he goes out to stop them. This leads him to dealing with something called the Shellkoof, which is a big ship. He ends up destroying it, but the dragon was he ends up destroying the core of the ship, but the dragon that he fought at the beginning was inside it. It evolved to a really big worm. He destroys that, and then goes his merry way. He finds his ancient ruin type thing, and the dragon just kind of ditches him, and everything's all merry. So, again, not very story driven. More so than the first game, but still nothing to write home about. This game is a lot more about the gameplay. And I really think this is one of the best improved sequels just ever. So this time you control a different character and a different dragon. It's not the blue dragon from the original game. But he can not only fly, he can run now. So you have some aerial battles, you have some sky battles. You'll jump back and forth a lot. You still have the gun and the lasers. That's no different. But you also now have a berserker attack, which is a game changer for this. So you have your health meter, and then you have another meter above it. And as you destroy enemies, as you blow things up, that bar fills. And when you hit X, Y, or Z, I'll talk about something with that in a second. But if you hit X, Y, or Z, he'll do a berserk attack. And he'll destroy everything around him, and he's invincible while doing this. So I typically saved it for the boss fights, but use it to your heart's content. It's a game changer for this. But I played this game on a circle pad controller, and if you're using the circle pad controller, sometimes if you're doing if you're trying to turn to look at the other areas with the triggers, it'll activate the berserker attack on its own. So if you go into the options menu and set X to not do anything, that won't happen anymore. It's weird, but it fixes the problem. So it was actually causing me problems in episode 3, so I had to go back and fix the options. But this game does have a save feature, unlike the first game. So you don't have to do it all in one run. So if you get killed, which you're going to, I'll talk about that in a second, but you have the option to save. So you can save and then go back, and you'll start with full health and a full berserker bar every time. So it's actually not punishing you to die, which is good. They're a lot better about that. This game, though, is significantly easier than the original game. Significantly easier. This game didn't kick my ass anywhere near as much as the first one. There's also no difficulty setting in the main game. It just starts you. So, that's good. It's not as punishing as the first one. It's not as arcadey as the first one. They actually streamlined it. I shouldn't say streamlined it, because they actually expanded it a lot. But they made it more accessible, is a good way to describe it. They made it a lot more accessible. And I'm not somebody who's like against hard games or anything, but when a game is kicking my ass, it kind of ruins the enjoyment for me. This one's not unfair. Like, once you understand how to what to dodge, where to aim and get away, you're gonna get through just fine. Like, the final boss is a big testament to that. That's a big improvement in this one compared to the first one. The boss fights are a lot better in this one. In the first one, the only two I really remember is that weird one in the tunnel on episode 4, I think, and the final boss. This game, I remember a lot more of them because they're a lot better. The final boss is really cool. There's one that's in the water that's really cool. There's one in episode 5 it's like this big ship and it's really cool. There's a lot more in this one compared to the first one. There's the one in episode 3 that like climbs like a robot monkey. I think it's pretty cool. So there's a lot of really cool things in this one. There's also branching pathways which unlock other stuff and other routes, and that's pretty cool. Whereas the first one was kind of linear. This one's still on rails. It's still an on-rail shooter, but you can unlock alternate methods to get through the levels, which is really cool. The graphics are a bit better. I mean, I think they use the same type of polygons, but the art style, like, there's more variety to the environments and the dragon. A big difference is the dragon evolves in this one. It's not just the same dragon. He, depending on how well you do in level, he will transform as the game goes on, like a Pokemon. And it's really cool. So you're not gonna. I think that's where Saga got it from. So it's significantly easier. It's a bit. It's still on the short side because it's still got that arcadey vibe to it. But it's more of a. You could pick it up and play it, and to go at your own pace. Whereas the first one, you had to go through level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 last. So you could put the cheats on if you wanted to get through the game easier. The second game doesn't really have that. What it does have is a Pandora's Box mode, which you unlock after beating the game, or if you have a save data from Panzer Dragoon Saga, you unlock it by default, and it's the cheat menu basically. It's the level select, it's the difficulty select, it's what type of dragon you want to use, that sort of stuff. It's your cheat menu, and so if a second playthrough is probably good for that. I'd say for the first playthrough, just go through normally, and then second playthrough, if you want a Pandora's Box, then go for it. Don't hotbox it, Pandora's Box it. The soundtrack is really good too, but I do think the first game had an overall better soundtrack. I'm not saying this one's bad. This one's actually great, but I just like the first one's a little bit more. And I think the first one's dragon was cooler. I like the way it looks better than the one in this one, but mechanically the dragon in this one is better. The level design is better. The story is better. Lundy, take him or leave him. He's no different than Kyle. They might as well both be blank slates, but that said, there's not much more I can really say about this game. Graphics are really good. The gameplay is really fun. The soundtrack's great. It feels better to play than the first one. Like they improved pretty much everything they could because they actually listened to player feedback from the first game and put what they learned in the second one. And just like the first one, there's not much difference between the American and Japanese versions. My friend Alex, who you saw in my last couple of videos, got the American version. He played his, I played mine recently. There's, aside from some Japanese text, there's no difference. If you really, really care about that, just go on YouTube or get the upcoming remake. But for the Saturn version, just go ahead and get the Japanese version. It's way cheaper. This one's $40. The American version's $250. Which one are you going to spend the money on? But this is essential for a Sega Saturn collection, especially a lot of you guys that grew up with the Sega Saturn. You probably like, yo, yeah, Panzer Dragoon's one of the greats. I didn't grow up with the Sega Saturn, so I have no nostalgia for this. I'm playing this for the first time today. But these are my first time playing through the Panzer Dragoon games, and they're great. I'm very glad I played them. I don't have Orta. It's the only one I haven't played yet is Orta, but I've played Original, 2, Saga. And they're all really, really, really good. Speaking of Saga, you could probably figure it out at this point that's going to be my next review is Panzer Dragoon Saga. So look forward to that. That's going to be a much bigger review, I'm sure, because that's a much bigger game. Like at least 15 times the length. So, given this was only an hour and Panzer Dragoon Saga took me about 16 hours. You get the idea. But excuse me, it's been a long day. I don't think I have too much more to say on Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei other than you should play it if you have a Saturn or get the upcoming remake. I don't know what system it's coming out for. I don't think they've announced yet. But I'm sure that's going to be good too. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this review of Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei. I hope you enjoyed the game. I sure as hell did. And stay tuned for the next review, which will most likely be Panzer Dragoon Saga. Until then, take care.